It's official, ladies and gentlemen, regulators probe block trading at Morgan Stanley, Goldman, and other Wall Street firms. They say, in their words, very large firms that provide liquidity to the markets. That means Citadel, Virtue, and Goldman Sachs. They are the largest three liquidity providers to the markets, and we're going to go over exactly how that is. Take a look at the liquidity providers because this is obvious and straightforward. We're going to read this whole article and exactly what is going on with block trading and how that is used to manipulate the markets. So this is a very exciting video, and I hope you guys are also excited as well. If you are, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below if you guys are new to the channel. My name is TCI. We go over unbiased information here in this video to keep you guys up to date on AMC and other trades that will make you guys money. If that sounds like something you are interested in getting the same information, I would give my mother or my brother or anybody else, hit that subscribe button for me and let's get into this video. So the title of this video is Regulators Probe Block Trading at Morgan Stanley, Goldman, and other Wall Street firms. This probe is a little bit different than the other ones that we have been seeing that is just related to hedge funds, because this is kind of underpinning the financial markets. And the reason why Citadel and Virtue are not mentioned in this article, they say very large liquidity providers, which they do say hedge funds, but they don't mention the names, is because they don't want to further underpin the markets. In due time, we will get that confirmation that Virtue and Citadel are being investigated and probed into, but at this current moment, the regulators don't want to underpin the markets at the current time. Once we get more clarity on what is actually going on, once these subpoenas go out, they get all of this information that they need to recover, that's when we will get more clarity about the situation. And we are going to read this article, but first things first, just so you guys know I'm not pulling this out of my ass, you really have to listen to the article first, but these are the liquidity providers to the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange. They provide liquidity to basically your lit exchanges, not your OTC exchanges. But what is really the reason to have liquidity providers? Because I think it's common sense here, but there's not always going to be somebody like you or me or a hedge fund that is buying stocks on the open markets. A lot of those hedge funds, they use dark pools, they trade between each other. They don't always use the lit exchanges, and there's not always going to be apes or somebody else that is willing to buy or sell stock. Imagine this. If somebody's trying to sell 100,000 shares in 10 minutes time, if there is not 100,000 people like you and me trying to buy stock, there wouldn't be enough stock for those 100,000 sell shares to get fulfilled. So that's why liquidity providers come in and they take the back end of that trade and they make the spread that is in between. That doesn't matter as much, but we will talk about how the manipulation actually happens when you're talking about block trades, because people fail to realize, and I've seen a couple people, I'm not going to call them out, but that are in the ape community that say block trading is only done in the dark pools. That's not true. Block trades are not only done in the dark pools. If we pull up Ortex, I talk about this every single day as well. This is not giving you dark pool information, but take a look at the option flows. And I also pulled it up on Google because Google obviously knows everything, right? But you can see these are all block trades, option block trades, sweeps, blocks, large, all of that. And what a block trade is, if you guys are unfamiliar, it's just a very large trade. It's an unusually large trade, a single order that is big. And a lot of these trades do happen in the dark pools because they can move the stock up or down a lot. It forces market makers to take the back end of those trades pretty much every single time instantaneously, or it'll just eat up the order book and you'll see a big drop or a big pop in the stock. So, there's a good reason why not all block trades are done on the open markets, but this probe has a lot to do with the trades that are actually done on the open markets, because there's a lot of arbitrage here that could be going on. And I don't know if arbitrage is the right word, but imagine this. Imagine if Citadel bought stock, right? They, sold stock short or bought stock before they knew a block trade was going in because they are a fucking market maker. They could obviously make a shit ton of money by doing that, by seeing the block trades coming through and then positioning right before the block trades are actually fulfilled. and executed. So that's really what is going on here. In my opinion, this is a huge elaborate scheme. And we've seen a lot of block trades come and go with AMC. You see big pops and big drops all the time. It's nothing new. And like we've talked about many times, AMC is one of those stocks that I simply have a very hard time trading options on. And I'm pretty comfortable trading options on pretty much any equity in the markets. I've been doing it for a very long time. It's easy to mitigate risk and all of that. But AMC is a different beast. The options move crazy. The price of the stock moves crazy. You could be up 15% and almost go negative, or you can be down negative, -2, -3%, and close up 10%. There's a lot of manipulation that we know that goes on behind the scenes of AMC. So, and like it says right here, block trades, they can happen. They mostly happen in the dark pools, but they can happen on the lit exchanges. Long story short, I'll save you guys a bit of a rant there. But it does say, like I said, regulators probe block trading at Morgan Stanley, Goldman, other Wall Street firms. SEC Justice Department investigate large share sales, communications between banks and hedge funds. Exactly what I just said. Say, hey, we got a block trade going out. You might want to position beforehand. They position. They all make a shit ton of money because, Citadel, a market maker, they could front run that trade and cause that first initial move. That's why sometimes before even news events come out, the stock will just start going crazy, right? It's the block trading. It's the front running that is happening by liquidity providers. And it says, federal investigators are probing the business of block trading on Wall Street, examining whether bankers might have improperly tipped hedge fund clients in advance of large share sales, according to people familiar with the situation. The Securities and Exchange Commission set subpoenas to firms including Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs, as well as several hedge funds, asking for trading records and information about the investors' communications with bankers, some of the people said. The Justice Department is also investigating the matter, some of the people said. Morgan Stanley has been an early focus of the probe, said people familiar with the matter. The issuance of subpoenas doesn't mean charges will be brought against any of the firms or individuals whose activities are being scrutinized. Regulators have been looking into irregularities around block trades since at least 2019, when the SEC requested records from several large banks, people familiar with the matter. Now, investigators are looking at whether banks improperly alerted favored clients to the sales before they were publicly disclosed and whether the funds benefited from the information. For example, by shorting the shares in question in a short sale, an investor sells borrowed stock in hopes of buying it back at a lower price later and pocketing the difference. And let me just clear this up. This is the first time I'm actually reading this article. I've scanned through it to, know that it's liquidity providers that are being investigated as well. We have not got to that. That is actually right there. But literally everything I just told you guys about front running trades is what you're hearing right now. It's like anybody that's been on Wall Street for even 4 or 5 years like I have knows this has been going on. So it was really inevitable, only a matter of time. But let's continue on with this article. It says shares of companies selling stock often fall because an increase in supply hitting the market, and they do so frequently in the hours before a big block is sold, a phenomenon that has long raised questions on Wall Street. Some of the funds that receive subpoenas act as liquidity providers to Wall Street firms, according to some of the people standing by to purchase large amounts of stock or other securities, including those that have few interested buyers. Liquidity providers. Take a look at this. New York Stock Exchange, NewYorkStockExchange.com/market/liquidity programs approved NYSE supplemental liquidity providing SLMM firms. Number 1 is Citadel. 2, Goldman Sachs and Company. 3 is Virtue Americas LLC. Pretty obvious, right? You don't have to underpin the market makers at this current moment until you have reasonable, until charges are pressed and all of that. So they don't have to technically say that, and that's why they're not. But they gave us a good insight. Liquidity providers. There's only 3 big ones. So, something to keep in mind. I think it's pretty much confirming Citadel, Virtue, all these other guys are seriously in some hot water here. Might explain some of the weird activities we've seen lately with Ken Griffin's plane and going to Finland, going other places, but that's more, take that with a tinfoil hat. Now, it says the rules governing when and how Wall Street firms can tell clients about upcoming block trades are murky. In some cases, there are questions around whether divulging certain information or acting on is improper or illegal, lawyers say. Block trades are a big business on Wall Street that has gotten even bigger. There were nearly 70 billion of them in the US in 2021, a 5-year high according to Dealogic. Morgan Stanley was the most active bank last year, lending more than a quarter of the deals by value and earning more than 300 million in fees. Dealogic data show Goldman is also a big player in the business, but keep in mind, Citadel, they're the ones front running this. They're the ones that are, making sure that the bank's trades actually do work out as well. I think Citadel, the market makers, they have the biggest role in all of this, to be quite honest with you guys. But that's only time will tell on that exactly. Says block trades take place when a company or large shareholder wants to sell a lot of stock at once. Unloading it in small drips could take weeks and might drive down the price. So banks are asked to bid for the entire block. They typically submit bids at a discount to the market price. The winning banks then offer the shares to clients at a slight premium to the agreed price, hoping to eke out a profit. The banks bear the risk that the stock drops precipitously before they can do so. In recent years, the block trading business has boomed because of record volumes of initial public offerings and other deals such as secondary or follow-on offerings. As stock markets soared, block trades often occur when lockup periods that prevent insiders from selling for a time after an IPO expires. Companies also have started turning to block trades because they are more efficient and can impact the stock price less than a traditional flow-on offering. Well, it looks like we might actually see some changes overall after this probe is done. I wouldn't hold your breath, but this is a massive probe, and you have people that are not even in the ape community talking about this, including CNBC. So it's going to get a little bit crazy. We're going to get some inside information to what is going on. I wanted to give you guys the scoop here tonight. I didn't even want to wait until the morning because you guys need to hear this and you deserve to hear this. Shit is coming to an end for Wall Street manipulation. Slowly but surely, we are on the cusp of seeing the MOAS. So I hope you guys are excited. Like I said in the beginning of this video, if you guys got value or simply entertainment or an insight into what is going on here on Wall Street, hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to comment down below. If you guys want to get totally free stock, check out Webull, Moomoo, and Public down below in the description of this video. Worst case scenario, you get some free stock. So check that out if you guys do want to. Also, if you guys want access to all of my trades in real time, want to join a great trading community, link down below in the pinned comment to do so for that. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.